So speaking of Göbekli Tepe, what do you think about the work of Graham Hancock, who also believes that there's a lost civilization in the Amazon?
Well, I've met Graham, and personally, I like him. He's a nice guy, got a nice sense of humor, and I think he's smart. And I also think he is a very good researcher. He and I are working on the same set of facts. The difference is our interpretations. I do not believe Graham's idea that a single now lost ancient civilization seeded the rest of them. I just don't see that on a number of levels, artifact wise, technology wise, art historical analysis. So I think his research is great. I think that he's very well read. In fact, better read than a lot of my colleagues. But his conclusions I disagree with. And he and I have talked about this and had a very civil and normal conversation about it and agree to disagree without spitting any venom at any point in the conversation.
That would be a fun argument to be a fly in the wall for. So he believes he's proposed as possible that the Amazon jungle is sort of a man-made garden. So it was planted there by advanced ancient civilization. Is there any degree to which that could be possible?
Frankly, I agree with him. I mean, it's just like what I was just talking about. It's the conclusion part that we differ from.
Sure.
But the facts that he's basing that on are that terra preta, are the huge geometric earthworks, are the ever increasing evidence of them. They are now from the bottom of Bolivia to Guyana.
Mhm.
They're everywhere. Every time we open up the jungle, we find these big works. So yes, there was a vast civilization that was there. How advanced they were is a question, and also a perspective thing. Graham really focuses in on what we don't know and what could be.
Just to educate me, what's the key idea that he's proposing that you disagree with? Is it was the level of advancement the civilization was, or how large and centralized it was?
My main point of disagreement is that his ideas evolve like everybody's. No scientist or researcher in anything has an idea at the beginning of their career and holds it till the day they die. His ideas are evolving, but his ideas remain, a core of them are that there was a very advanced single ancient civilization that was utterly destroyed by climatic conditions, and the younger, Dryas hypothesis is part of that. Most recently, he used to not say that. Now he's into this meteor thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he believes that civilization was destroyed, but that members of it escaped this cataclysm and then spread out all over the world to seed all of the world's civilizations for the next revival. There's where I disagree with him. I think these were independent civilizations that grew up in their own ways, that they were not seeded by some more advanced civilization from the past, and that they all hold things in common because they have this common ancestry of in his early books, he suggested it's Atlantis. I don't think he suggests that anymore, but he still hangs on to the single advanced, now completely lost civilization. And, archaeology, so we don't have, we're all of our ideas are theories. Very few of them are facts. And we're not, we could have the story wrong, but one thing we're real good at is finding stuff. I mean, we find fish scales. So I find it just too big a pill to swallow that there was a civilization that was that technologically advanced and that large that we can't even find a potsherd from.
Yeah. And of course, it is a compelling story that there's a single civilization from which all of this came from. Because the alternative is, the idea that we came across the Bering Strait from Asia, went all the way down to South America and got isolated and created all these marvelous, sophisticated civilizations and ideas, including religious ideas, that look similar to other. Everybody has a flood myth,
Right.
right? So like, there's a lot of similarities. Everybody building pyramids.
Yeah.
uh, but there could be a lot of other explanations, and for even if it's a simple, compelling explanation, there has to be evidence for it, right? And what would that
Well,
evidence
that's
look
the
like?
bottom line.
That's
I mean,
tough.
everything's theories. And as responsible scientists, we're trying to disprove our theories. We are not supposed to be trying to prove our theories. That's one more foot out of the science box that archaeology often steps. We're supposed to be disproving what we think is happening, not proving it.
Yeah, you don't want to lean into the mystery too much. I mean, it's such a weird discipline, because you're operating it's like really in a dark room. You're feeling around a dark room, so it's mostly mystery. I would say a lot of sciences operate in a mostly well lit room. There's like a dark corner, and you're kind of figuring out a way to light it. But in archaeology, most of it is a mystery, right?
Yes, it's job security. I like that part. But I do also try to always remind myself that every paradigm shifting idea that humans have ever had began as heresy and lunacy. That guy was crazy up to the second he was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to keep our minds open to the things that sound outlandish, because one of them eventually is going to lead us to the big paradigm shift. And if we're busy burning books of ideas that we don't like, that's where we close our minds to the possibility of advancing things.